What is up, Flockers? That is my fellow Lockers and aspiring Lockers. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how Microlocs compare to the new iPhone 14 and the things that they have in common. So, if you'd like to hear about that, then stick around. From the intro, you're probably wondering, what in the world do iPhones and Microlocs have in common? Well, I'm about to tell you here today. And the first thing on my list is that they are both waterproof. Okay? We know that iPhones have been doing this waterproof thing for a while. The great thing about Microlocs is that they are waterproof. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I can go jump in the ocean, I can go jump in a pool, I can go outside when it's raining without an umbrella and not have to worry about my locks unraveling, without having to worry about my hair poofing up or anything like that, because my hair is waterproof, it is safe and ready against the elements, and I don't have to worry about my hair changing its form or doing anything crazy or different just because I get into a body of water or because I'm out grocery shopping, for example, and then it starts raining out of nowhere. So that is an awesome thing about the Locs, and like I said, something it has in common with the iPhones. The second thing on my list of how the new iPhones compare with Microlocs is that they are both going to bring you attention. Now, if you don't like getting attention, then maybe Microlocs aren't for you, but if you are the type that likes getting attention and compliments, or you're just indifferent to it, then you know that Microlocs may be for you. And just like with an iPhone, people are like, oh, what's that? That's new, that's cool, that's awesome. People are gonna do the same thing with your hair, because some people aren't gonna know what they are, if they're braids, if they're a wash and go, what's going on with your hair, but they're gonna like it. I have not met one person that has said anything negative about my hair, about my locks, whether it's family, friends, strangers, acquaintances. People just love the look of Microlocs. Now maybe they wouldn't love it for themselves, but they love it on me. So like I said, that's another reason that the phones and the hair have something in common. They bring you looks, they bring you likes, and they bring you compliments. The third thing on my list of how the iPhones are similar to Microlocs is that even though there may be different categories, they may look almost identical to another category. What do you mean by that? Well, you take the newest release of the iPhone, you got the iPhone 14, and you got the iPhone 13, the Pro editions. And just looking at them, you can't really tell a difference. There's a slight difference in the size of the cameras on the bump on the back, but just looking at the phone, you're not gonna know the difference until you start getting in and looking at the specs and looking at the difference in a little bit of resolution, but even then, most people aren't going to be able to tell the difference. Well, when you look at Microlocs, for the most part, it's the same. People confuse Sisterlocks and Microlocs all the time because there's such slight differences between them a lot of times. And unless someone is specifically trained or knows or has Sisterlocks themselves, they're not really knowing the difference between Microlocs. It takes a person getting really close up on me to see the little bit of braid pattern that I have before they're like, oh, those aren't Sisterlocks or Brotherlocks, you've got Microlocs, you've got Braidlocs. And so again, that's a cool thing about Microlocs, and the price is comparable. You're not having to pay as much money for Microlocs typically as you do for Sisterlocks. Just like if you go and get the iPhone 13, should be cheaper than getting the iPhone 14. The fourth thing on my list of how the iPhone and the Microlocs are similar is the new action mode. The new iPhones have that action mode that keeps things stable and whatnot. Well, I consider having Microlocs action mode for life. And like I said, that means whether you're trying to go swimming, whether you're trying to go hiking, play basketball, do all types of extreme sports, whatever it may be, you can go and live your life with Microlocs because you get a retie or you don't get a retie like me. I'm 6 weeks out and needing a retie, but my hair is not dependent, my life and my activities are not dependent on my hair and what's going on with my hair because I got that action mode activated. Because I do reties, I don't retwist, because if I retwisted, then the elements, moisture, all that stuff would play a factor in my hair unraveling or untwisting. But I don't have to worry about that because I retie and then I'm good for a minimum of 5 weeks before it's looking like it needs to be retied again. And like I said, even at 6 weeks, I would say my hair still looks pretty good. Can you see my scalp? No, but that's not a problem to me. So we're still out here looking good even at 6 weeks. I can continue rocking this for another week or two if I wanted to. Action mode, baby. The fifth thing on my list, I'm going to call the always on display. Just like the new iPhones have the new always on display mode where your screen always stays on. It's always looking great, always popping. Like I've said just previously in the last point, Microlocs are always looking good, they're always popping. No matter what's going on in your life, whether you just got a fresh retwist, whether it's been 3 weeks, 6 weeks, even 8 weeks after your retie. Now maybe your roots are saying yes, you need a retie so they don't start marrying a lot and stuff, but in terms of looking great, like you can't tell me nothing. They're always on display, always looking great. And the sixth thing on my list is like with the iPhone 14s, you have the 3 different optical zooms. You have the 1-time zoom, the 2-time, or I guess it's not a zoom, the 1-time lens, the 2-time zoom, optical zoom, and then the 3-time optical zoom. If you're like me and you did not do perfect squares, perfect parting to where all of your locks are the same size, you've got different zooms. So when you look closer at my locks, I got some 1-time zooms, I've got some 2-time zooms, and I've got some 3-time zooms. Now, we're not going into 10-time optical zoom because we don't want any extra chunky locks sitting next to thin locks, but there's definitely a difference in size, and that adds to the thickness and the fullness and the overall look of my locks, and it just adds to the uniqueness and the creativity that you can have with your locks. Microlocs is where it's at. If you found this video helpful at all, make sure to hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button so that you can join the flock. And before you go anywhere, check out some of the other videos that have popped up on the screen. I'll see you there.